Falcons. Now, Detroit hopes to close out its year with a big game from Chuck Long, the rookie quarterback in whom the Lions have invested their future. Also live, you're looking at the Metrodome of Minnesota. It's the Vikings against New Orleans in a battle between two rookie coaches who turned their teams around this year. Both Jim Mora of the Saints and Minnesota's Jerry Burns built losers into challengers and gave fans in both cities reason to believe that even better days lie ahead. Here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, the Cardinals play host to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even an upset victory by the Bucs probably will not save the job of their beleaguered coach Lehman Bennett, who in his 2 years at Tampa has won only 4 games. And we are now live at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The Eagles clash with the playoff-bound Washington Redskins. Eagle quarterbacks have been sacked 99 times this season. That's an NFL record for futility and pass protection. That should give Randall Cunningham plenty to think about as he faces the charge of Dexter Manley and his friends on Washington's defensive line.
Yesterday, the New York Giants finished their great season with a great flourish. By trouncing Green Bay, they secured the home field edge throughout the playoffs. And our studio guest today is a spark plug of the Giant offense, running back Joe Morris.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Kala Kristuyana. I've got 2 big upsets for you today. And later I'll be talking about some coaches who are in trouble with Brent and Will. All that and more coming in.
By Taco Bell, the cure for the common meal. Ace Hardware Corporation. And by the 1987 German-engineered Volkswagens and your Volkswagen dealers. And now, Brent Musburger.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the NFL today, the last Sunday of the regular season. 2 games are going to impact 5 teams in the AFC as a couple of playoff spots are still open. Cleveland now has the home field advantage for as long as they last in the AFC. Cincinnati needs a win against the New York Jets and then either a loss by Kansas City or New England to get in. Denver, of course, has already won the division title. Seattle now must sit and wait, and they will need losses by 2 of 3 teams, the Patriots, Kansas City, and Cincinnati. Kansas City is in if they beat Pittsburgh today. Meanwhile, in the East, the division title is up in the air. The New York Jets can still wind up with the division championship if the Patriots lose tomorrow night to the Miami Dolphins, and the Patriots could get in this afternoon as a wild card if Cincinnati and Kansas City are beaten. Meanwhile, in the NFC, the 5 teams are in. San Francisco has charged to the top of the NFC West. It means that the Los Angeles Rams must go on the road. They will go into Washington next Sunday for the NFC wildcard game. The New York Giants have not only won the East and the NFC, but they have wrapped up the home field for as long as they play. So you have to wonder about the incentive today for the Chicago Bears. Another win really doesn't mean much for them. However, Tampa Bay down here, if they lose, they stay first in the sweepstakes for Vinny Testaverde. And of course, a couple of games yesterday started off our weekend.
Well, some big games, Brent. You know, the Denver Broncos rolled into Seattle yesterday thinking they would have things their way, but ran into a red-hot Seahawk team. Seattle kept their AFC wildcard playoff hopes alive. Kurt Warner's 192-yard today as well. This is a 60-yard run that kind of put things away. Seattle rolled over Denver 41-16. Meanwhile, in the Meadowlands, the Giants clinched the home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs with a 55-24 win over the Packers. First, Phil Simms hits Mark Bavaro over the middle for a touchdown, a 24-yard score there. The defense gave up 24 points for the Giants, which is surprising, but the special teams came through. Here, number 28, Tom Flynn blocks a Bill Renner punt and runs it in 36 yards for a touchdown. The Giants roll over the Packers 55-24, and right now, the New York Giants are the hottest team in pro football.
Oh, there's one man who loves to hear you say that over and over. We got him standing by live. There's the Chicago Bear coach, Mike Ditka. Mike, you love seeing the Giants favored in this situation coming in against the Bears. You have fueled this.
They should be. There's no question about it. They're playing excellent football. Bill's done a great job, and, you know, we got a lot of football ahead of us before.
Yeah, but you like being the underdog. Let's admit it. That's the position you want to be in now.
But I think we are the underdog. We're not as good as the Giants. You know, if we can beat them, that would be a feather in our hat, but we're not as good as them right now.
One spot where you're probably not as good as quarterback, Mike. What are you going to do there today and in the playoffs with the quarterback situation?
Well, Brent, if we put all 3 of ours together, we're probably as good as they are. So that's part of what we'll do. We'll probably
keep blowing the smoke, Mike. Go ahead. What are you going to specifically do, though, against the Cowboys? We're going to see Flutie today. Are you going to give Fuller a shot? What's going to happen?
We're going to start Doug, and we'll see how it goes. And we're going to play Mike Tomczak in there some also. And we might put Steve in. But I know I'm going to play the 2 of them for sure, probably about half and half.
All right. You know, Mike, everybody in the country saw you on Monday night. You were extremely animated as we roll up this videotape. It reminded me of Mike Ditka, the tight end with the Chicago Bears in days of old. What were you saying to Mr. Flutie and Mr. Moorhead here on the sidelines?
Well, basically, it was very nice. We asked him, we told him we were going to have a Christmas party. We want to make sure they got the directions on how to get there. So that's what I was telling him. I said, it'll be at my house at 8 o'clock, be there.
Mike, I would assume that they were there on time, right?
Well, they were there a little ahead of time. They understand me pretty well.
All right, are you confident as you were a year ago?
Well, I think our situation's a little different. I don't have Jim McMahon, and that makes a big difference in this football team because he's our leader on the field on offense. I'm going to have to rely on some things that our offensive line, Walter Payton, I think the 2 quarterbacks, the 3 quarterbacks we have, we can get the job done. Our defense has been the key to everything we've done, and I don't, I'm not pulling any punches, Our defense can play with anybody. They think they have a good one in New York, and they do. We got a pretty darn good one in Chicago, too.
All right, Mike, thanks for being with us, and good luck.
Thank you.
He's done a heck of a job of coaching. I know a lot of folks were wondering if he could coach a team, but you better believe he willed that touchdown against Detroit. Now, up in the air, draft choices in the drafting order. So the NFL Scouting Combine ranks the top 10 players coming out this way right now. We all know Vinny Testaverde, the fine quarterback at Miami, is number 1. Look at the linebackers, though, who are 2, 3, and 4. Brian Bosworth of Oklahoma, Cornelius Bennett of Alabama, and Shane Conlon of Penn State. Then Reggie Rogers, the outstanding defensive lineman of Washington. Rounding out the top 10, you'll see 1 running back in there. That is Brent Fullwood from Auburn. And then we see Jerome Brown. Now, he is projected from Miami as a nose tackle. Ricky Nattiel is a wide receiver down at Florida. And Lonzel Hill is a wide receiver at Washington. Tony Woods, and he is projected as a linebacker coming out of Pittsburgh. And the NFL today will continue. Jimmy the Greek will have some winners coming your way in just a moment.
What about Reggie Collier, their quarterback today?
An exciting runner with an extra dimension that the Bears don't know about. There's one thing about Reggie. He'll throw 3 great passes and 3 interceptions all at the same time. But the Dallas pride is up for this game, Brent. They have to show something because they played poorly the last couple
How
games.
about Neil Anderson for the Bears, Jimmy?
He will go in, he's the one that will go wide. He's quick. I mean, he'll make the corner. It's a tough ball game, but we're going to say Dallas is going to win it for the simple reason they want to show that pride.
All right. And Greek, I figure there is a scenario that if the New York Jets continue to lose, they'll wind up in the Super Bowl.
Probably. These 2 coaches deserve each other, Walton and Weiss. At least Walton...
Yeah, they're not your favorites, I've
Well,
noticed.
no, but at least Walton has an excuse. He had a bunch of injuries that really hurt his defense, But what excuse has Weiss got? He's still got the same players. He's got great players on that team, and they scored 3 points last week. Now, which team is going to show up this week of the Bengals? The one that scores 3 or 30? We're going to say the one that scores 30 in a tough ball game.
All right. I'll tell you a team that showed a lot of improvement this year, the New Orleans Saints. They're up in Minnesota to play the disappointed Vikings. And how about this game?
Hey, they want to finish 500, too. The Saints, which would be the first time, in a couple of years? I mean,
only the second time in the history of the franchise.
The Vikings have got a problem. Kramer is hurt. He was pushing the ball all week. I don't think he'll play. In fact, he won't play. Plus the fact that Minnesota's defensive line is hurting. Brent, Minnesota will get beat today. They will be upset by the Saints.
All right, Jimmy, how about Kansas City and Pittsburgh?
That's a real tough one. It's a toss-up. I like Pittsburgh because they're at home.
Cleveland over San Diego.
They've cinched it, but they'll play to win.
Washington over Philadelphia.
Can you imagine Philadelphia doing anything to Washington?
Detroit over Atlanta.
And that might cost Henning his job.
Houston over Buffalo.
There's problems there, too.
St. Louis over Tampa Bay.
If you were Tampa Bay, would you want to win today?
The Raiders over Indianapolis.
They want 9-7 over 8-8, Brent.
Jimmy, I noticed you didn't pick the Monday night of the Miami Patriot game.
Well, Miami is out of it already, and by game time Monday night, New England could already be in, Brent.
All right, I'll ask you about that a little bit later in the day as we see what unfolds here. Coming up, Jimmy, we got a very special guest, the sensational running back of the New York Giants, Joe Morris, live when we continue in a moment. The most popular one we have had in a long time. All the technicians at CBS were coming up getting Joe Morris's autograph today. And you made an observation on that Packer game yesterday.
Well, just looking at the game, it seemed like there's a lot of rough play in the game, Joe. Were the Packers trying to